Slade, what's up, man?
Like, how do you? I know you had pretty tough words about that win the other night, and I'm just curious how it resonated or sat with your team. Maybe it's too early to tell, but I guess a day or two later, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I always try to tell the truth. I don't know if the words were bad or not, but or tough, but it's just told the truth. I felt we could have played better, and we always want to get a win, especially at this point in the year. We need wins just like everybody else, and it's not going to always be perfect, but there were some controllables that we did not control, and that's what bothered me. So I just, if I see something, I'm gonna call it like I see it. I don't see everything, so I don't call everything. But that's all it was to me. And I don't. You'd have to ask them how they felt afterwards. But I thought we had a good practice today.
The whole kind of, seeing this trait before, where you go into a good team against a losing record, and it feels like there might be a little bit of a let up at times. Does it just kind of feel like maybe since you only have about 21 games left or so, does it just kind of feel like maybe that's part of what this team is at times, and for the most part of this season?
At the end of the day, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We may be like that, but I know that I'm not gonna sit back if I see it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna sit back and let it go. Just like if we're not playing good offensively, I'm not gonna sit back and let it go just because we were the number one offense last year, or defensively. I hear people tell me, "Hey, well, you don't have defensive players." What does that mean? If your kid is not good in math, but he's good in science, so you're going to say, and I'm not saying these guys are my kids now,
Right.
because they're not, but I'm just using an example. If your kid's not good in math, but they're good in science, you're going to say, "Hey, don't worry about the math. Just concentrate on being the best in science." No, you're going to push whoever you can to be the best in whatever they have in front of them.
Yeah.
And so for us, that's all it's about. It's about trying to maximize our potential as best we can, no matter what is in front of us. And it's my job to help with that.
Mike, we saw you do this similar thing last year, late in the season against the Knicks when you guys got killed on the offensive glass. And then that ended up being a huge problem in the playoffs as well. Is that sort of what you have to do sometimes as a coach, is pick on the nuanced stuff and pull it out so the players are hearing it, from everywhere?
Yeah, again, it's just addressing what I feel is a concern of ours, especially in areas that I know we can be better in, and but maybe we're not showing it at that time, and especially things that are a trend. And so for us, the way we defend the 3-point line is just not good, and that was one of the big things that we went over when we watched film today against San Antonio. We do it in spurts. We were good. A few games before that, in a couple of stretches. So, for me, James, it's just about trying to continue to push the right buttons with our group, based on where we're at in specific areas. And we could be a lot better than what we are. And I know that, like I said already, that I'm going to continue to try to push those buttons to get the most out of this group, and not just sit back and say, "Hey, we're not good in that area, so don't worry about it. Let's just try to be better in this area instead." That's not how you grow anybody individually, or any group, in my opinion.
You talk about growth. Does a lot of what's happening just feel like it might be growing pains of trying to take a team from one level to the next, and that's why we're seeing some of the inconsistent play?
100%. I mean, again, sometimes when people talk to me, they talk to me like we've arrived, like we're a 7-year deep playoff run type team. You got to think about it. We made the playoffs last year and lost in the first round. They didn't make the playoffs for 17 or 16 or 15 years before that. And the guys that we have playing, look at their experience having deep playoff runs. Look at their experience having a decent season the year before, but now dealing with the expectations. There's a lot of newness that we're going through right now that we have to figure out, and we're more than capable of figuring out sooner than later. And I've used this example already, but the reigning NBA champions, Mike Malone's a hell of a coach, good buddy of mine. He was in Denver his first 3 years, I don't think they made the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs. And, you know, we obviously made the playoffs, had the number one offense, this and that. Everybody's patting us on our back, and we think we've done something, and we've been doing something for the last 20 years. And the reality of it is we haven't. So there's some steps that we've got to go through, and we're not going to always come out on the right end with those steps. But if we don't, and especially if I feel we can be better than what we are, our team will get challenged, because that's what our job is, and we're capable of doing it. But there's a lot of newness that our guys are going through right now that they need to figure out, or we need to, not they, because I'm part of it, but we need to figure out sooner than later, because we're capable of it.
Coach, would you say, since it's you wind it down toward the end of the season, are you pushing buttons more, or are you quicker to push buttons now, or has it been relatively the same all season?
No, there was a stretch of a time where, I was kind of taking a seat back, because at the end of the day, and I may not have the right formula, but every team that I've been a part of that's had a sustained winning culture at a high level, it comes from within. It matters from within. And the guys hold themselves accountable at the highest level from within. Whether they're saying something or they're receiving something, it's at an extremely high level, and it happens most times. And that's why I was excited about the players only meeting. This is obviously our second year here as a staff, and that's the first players only meeting we have. Now, if you have too many, I think they're bull crap, because just now guys are just talking to talk. But when you're trying to find your way as a group for the first time to talk, and sometimes without us as a staff in there, I welcome it, because now guys open their mouth, they probably feel more comfortable, and then hopefully when they leave that, they can hold the standard, because great companies, teams, groups, they have certain standards that they're not going to let anybody slide below, and the only way to do that is to communicate. But not just being the one talking all the time, but sometimes receiving and handling it the right way. So that was great. In my opinion, conflict is great, just like with your family. Sometimes you got to have conflict with your family. And so, there was a period where, hey, I stepped back and wanted them to figure it out on their own. And but now with 20 games left, I probably have to help them a little bit more.
Turn on the Jets.
Something like that.
Is it just closeout technique that you're trying to fix with the three-point defense, or is it bigger than that?
It has a lot to do with the closeout technique. It's like, we're not great. But first of all, if you're long and athletic, you probably have a little bit more leeway, than if you're not as long or as athletic. And we've been playing a lot of guards, and so our closeout technique has to be great. And right now, what we're doing is, and the guys see it, we show it to them on film, we're stopping short of whoever we got to close out to. And you could feel the difference if you're a great shooter, or even just an average shooter in the league. If I come to you and I stop like this, you're probably going to make that shot. But if you're an average shooter, if I get to you arm's length, but with a hand up, you feel a difference. And now when you shoot it, I'm going to try to high five them. There's a difference, but we're doing a lot of this, and then you shoot it, and then I'm jumping here. You didn't feel that at all, did you? And so we have to be better, almost perfect with our closeouts, because we're not 6'9" and rangy and closing out. If you're 6'9", you might be able to stop here, and this may bother you. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. But we have to be better in that area. And then if you're Steph Curry, if you're Reggie Miller, if you're those types of guys, now it's not to here, but it is to here. And then it's here. And you feel the difference, right? Hey, these guys are pros. This is what they do. The game has changed. Everybody shoots the three now, which is remarkable. I mean, and so we have to be able to take that away in order to have some success come playoff time.
For the record, Pop wasn't pissed at you, right? I know some cameras saw you guys when he came over to wish you well. He was obviously pretty animated and looked like he was pissed, and saw some speculation that he was upset with you.
Yeah, he was upset with me. No, Pop and I go way back now. I mean, I think he was even yelling at the refs after that. So, yeah. So maybe he was upset with me, the referees, and whoever else he yelled at. But no.
Yeah, then it blended into the press conference too.
It did?
I just started. No,
did I?
no, I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Oh, with him?
When I was in this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
What he didn't.
Yeah.
Anything else, Coach?
Close to telling us to shut up.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.